King of the Hill is so nostalgic for me, and as much as I love The Simpsons, King of the Hill always had its very own special sauce. The show, at its best, was an amazing balance of satire, humor, and heart. But unless you're The Simpsons, all shows must come to an end, and King of the Hill fans have been desperately wanting a new season, and we got it. In an era where all of your favorite shows are being brought back from the dead, King of the Hill will be dropping a new season next month, and I was lucky enough to get to check out this season, and I'll be honest with y'all, I was like a little skeptical. Reboots lately have been very hit or miss, so how does King of the Hill stack up? Well, thankfully, I think this might be one of the best reboots I've ever seen. Episode 1 does a really good job at some heavy lifting narrative-wise, with Peggy and Hank being out of the country for seemingly the duration of the hiatus of the show. Thus, they act as kind of audience stand-ins for what's going on with the lovable Arlen characters like Dale, Bill, Boomhauer, etc., as well as some other timely commentary. Speaking of, I think a lot of people were curious what a modern day Hank Hill would look like, seeing how the character is very old school and rooted in very traditional values. In the original show's run, creator, writer, and voice of Hank, Mike Judge, has always been really smart about not rocking the boat too much when it comes to the show pushing either a right or left wing agenda, which seems wise given the show's fan base really does come from all kinds of walks of life. However, it seems like Judge is trying to get a little bit more diverse this time around with more prominent African American characters, and while we still don't have any openly queer characters of any substance, it is nice that we do see gay people existing around the general show, which is, I guess, better than nothing at all. I will give the writers credit for making Hank more accepting without totally betraying his character, because at the end of the day, even in the original run, Hank was never a bigot. He just was a product of a different time. And it's funny how they even kind of explore that in some episodes in a really interesting and thought-provoking way. The humor and the balance of heart is certainly present here, and I do love that Judge and the writers are really making a meal focusing on how Hank, someone whose whole identity is linked to his work, is dealing with retirement. And Peggy is also in her own way navigating the same issue. And that's really refreshing. I really like to see that. This just feels so much like old school King of the Hill. Bobby is now a chef, and I also kind of love what they're doing with his character. Even though his character is, I believe, 21 in the show, he as well still is having a hard time kind of navigating some of the more modern times and sensibilities, which is also kind of an interesting spin. And bringing an adult Connie into the mix and seeing how their relationship is blooming is really engaging. I'm really actually kind of invested in that. I also thought it was interesting and smart how they are dealing with a character like Dale. In the original series, Dale was a crackpot who, despite it all, was a really good person. Now, in 2025, people like Dale sometimes have huge platforms and can spread dangerous misinformation. Now, the show doesn't tone down Dale being this modern day crackpot, though they never go full Alex Jones and they make him likable. There was some really funny bits about Dale that I don't really want to say now because I don't want to give away anything, but I might do a spoiler video if this one does well, so stay tuned. Sadly, Brittany Murphy, who played Luann, passed away, and strangely, the show never even acknowledges her in any way, shape, or form, which is wild to me. This is interesting as Dale Luao's original voice actor had passed away as well, but he was recast. Now, you might be saying that she was never a main character or had like a huge impact on the show, but I would very much disagree, and I'm sure a lot of people would as well. She was such a great character, and Murphy was a rare talent gone way too soon. So just not dealing with Luann at all is kind of strange and very frustrating. Like, I understand if you don't want to recast Luann, like, that's fine. But even if they just talked about her character on the show, maybe having passed away, it would give fans, I think, some kind of closure. Hell, she didn't even get a mention at the end of the credits like other cast members who have tragically passed away. And this is the same with Tom Petty, who played Luann's partner, Lucky. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it's probably my only complaint with this series so far. Seeing King of the Hill return in a way that feels both modern and true to the series is awesome. Like, it fills my heart with so much joy. I really enjoyed the show as a kid, and it feels like I'm growing up with the show. And this obviously helps with the fact that they age up everyone, and I think this is a stroke of genius. Unlike The Simpsons, who stay the same age forever, minus flash forward episodes, it just makes it feel like you have a lot of history with these characters, and I think it just brings a little bit more weight to everything. Plus, we get a lot of very fun callbacks and nods that reward longtime fans, yet if you're just brand new to the series, not enough to totally alienate you either. So I'm really happy that it looks like there's already going to be a season 2, because I definitely am excited to see more episodes, and I didn't think there was one episode that felt like a dud in this entire series. Like, was there better episodes than others in this season? Sure, of course, like, you're gonna have that anytime, but I thought overall, strong writing. It just felt very much like the King of the Hill that I used to watch all the time. So, as cynical as I wanted to be with this show, I was really happy. I'm so happy that I can actually say, yeah, like, this was a good product. I want more of it. I am looking forward to season 2. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Please consider subscribing. I try to update the channel at least once a week, if not more. And I will see y'all in the next video.